Detroit Pistons have struggled lately, and that is no way to get playoff ready. Meanwhile, the Chicago Bulls are on the way to their best record in 13 years. Two teams spotlighted by two showmen, both from the Windy City, both with superior skills, both taking center stage today. The Pistons have gained a reputation as the NBA's bad boys. They prefer to call it hard drive and intensity. The Bulls are trying not to be Chicago Air Jordan, fitting other pieces to the puzzle. The Central Division plays a brand of ball like the NFL's old black and blue, take no prisoners. Outside Detroit, the Pontiac Silverdome has been the scene for record crowds and an NBA single-season record attendance. It's the Bulls and the Pistons. And welcome to the Pontiac Silverdome for the continuation of the heated rivalry in the Central Division between the Chicago Bulls and the Detroit Pistons. And good afternoon again, everyone. I'm Dick Stockton. You know, the story for most of the year in the Eastern Conference has been the Pistons' pursuit of the Boston Celtics for the best record and home court advantage in the playoffs. But there has been a turn of events now, and the Pistons, who have lost 3 in a row for the first time this year, are not so much looking ahead, but looking over their shoulders. Let's take a look at what's going on. Boston just about has home court wrapped up, and the Atlanta Hawks has crept within 2 games of the Pistons, and the Chicago Bulls in 4th are solid right there, and they're looking to move up as well. Billy Cunningham, we know that Michael Jordan has been sensational. All the Pistons have won 4 out of 5 in the season series. We'll have Pat O'Brien at the half, so sit back and enjoy the NBA on CBS. Pistons are on a pace to become the first NBA team to attract 1 million people at home in the regular season. They're here to see a big attraction today. The Detroit Pistons starting lineup, Dantley and Mahorn, as we mentioned, back in the starting lineup, and Chuck Daly trying to find the answers to the Piston problems. And Sam Vincent, acquired from Seattle, as Billy mentioned, the backcourt partner for Michael Jordan, and Doug Collins has seen his team win 4 out of 5 on the road. Paul Mihalik and Hugh Hollins are the officials, and the stage is set here at the Silverdome. The Chicago Bulls 42-29 on the year, the Pistons 46-24. And Detroit, who will begin 4 road games in a row Tuesday in New Jersey, but finish with 5 out of 7 at home, know this is key. Michael Jordan, the leading scorer in the NBA, has averaged 34 against Detroit, but has not Mahorn well.
Michael Jordan is known to be a slow starter.
He was a slow starter in Portland the other night, and then ran off 20 consecutive points to the amazement of even his coach, Doug Collins.
Yeah, he's just playing magnificent basketball for this team.
Laimbeer hits outside. Laimbeer. Isiah Thomas has had a tremendous week, scoring a lot more, gets it into Mahorn. So already the Pistons have scored with the 2 forwards, Mahorn and Dantley, both inside. Vincent Corzine has really come to play at center. He's been a big help.
And a big factor, Doug Collins has been able to use his minutes more effectively.
Jordan with his second basket. Dantley against Oakley, giving up a lot of inches. But he knows how to do it, doesn't he? Gone by. Pistons by 2. Jordan can go wild at any time, averaging over 34 a game. And Dumars committing the foul. Make it Rick Mahorn. Mahorn's first foul.
You know, Doug Collins said, watching Michael Jordan, every game he shows him something new. It's, you know, the great players have that ability. They have such a repertoire of offensive moves or defensive moves.
Oakley, baseline shot. Oakley
from Michael Jordan.
We're tied at 8. Again, they go into the low post. The Pistons obviously starting out with inside play. Dumars, Joe Dumars, having his best year, a superb 2-way guard, and the Pistons have hit 5 of their first 6. Fighting inside, Laimbeer. Laimbeer boxed out Brad Sellers and got the basket.
Right now, the Chicago Bulls are just flat. They're not on their toes defensively. They're not reacting well at the defensive end of the court.
They won 4 out of 5 on the road. They started the year winning 8 of their first 9 away from Chicago Stadium. Jordan, foul, and Dumars picks up his first foul, and Michael Jordan will go to the line.
Joe Dumars plays Michael Jordan as well as anybody in this league, and if he gets in foul trouble, that really puts a great deal of pressure on Chuck Daly. Does he go with Vinnie Johnson to play him? I would expect, if that case, that he'd probably go with Dennis Rodman coming off the bench.
Rodman is a forward, but at 6'7" can play big guards.
But that's going to be a problem now. What is he going to do offensively? And if he is in there against Michael Jordan, he'll probably look to post him up as much as he can.
Jordan leading the Bulls in virtually every offensive category and leads the NBA in steals as well. He has made himself into a mighty fine defensive player.
Well, I can't believe that he won't be first-team all-defense this year in the NBA. He's getting any kind of a shot offensively.
Laimbeer hits. Now there's the guy who should be shooting outside shots, trying to get the break going off the hands of Jordan. They turn it over, and Detroit takes over.
Just a poor decision by Charles Oakley trying to make that long outlet pass.
Turnover such as that.
Dantley fouled by Oakley, who doesn't like the call. And now Corzine and Mahorn have to be separated. These two teams have no love lost for each other. They were engaged in a huge melee earlier in the season, and resulted in a lot of fines.
A lot of fines. As a matter of fact, they probably paid for a few college educations with the amount of fines that was set by the league.
I don't know why Corzine and Mahorn don't get along. They were both backups to Wes Unseld with the Bullets.
Well, they learned from the master on how to be a physical player.
Date on that score. A little more than halfway remaining as Laimbeer tries to get a pass to Dantley, and another Chicago foul, and that will put them into the penalty. That's the 15th foul, and it'll be the second on Brad Sellers. First substitution of the game from the Chicago bench, Scottie Pippen, good-looking rookie who was the 5th pick out of Central Arkansas. Had a good start early, and then his confidence waned, and now he's trying to get it back.
And that's what will happen with a rookie going through the transition from college to pros.
Mahorn gets the basket. It shows his dismay on the bench. Isiah Thomas banking it off the glass for his first basket of the ballgame.
You just wonder when you watch Chicago right now, is fatigue a problem? If they're playing in Portland a couple of nights ago and having to fly in the 3-hour time change, as well as having to push our clocks ahead.
You remember to do that?
No, I didn't. Thank goodness you called me for breakfast.
Thomas trying to make it 5 out of 6 on the year. Jordan, perfect.
Michael Jordan.
Doug Collins said
5:35 to go. Thomas runs into Oakley, and Oakley is called for the foul, and that's 2 on Oakley. So Sellers and Oakley, the starting forwards, each have picked up 2 fouls here.
And Doug is going to have to make a change and bring Artis Gilmore off the bench, because he can't afford to lose this early in the first half. Oakley.
Didn't I see Horace Grant play yesterday against Arizona in the NCAA semifinals?
I'll tell you, boy, Horace was so excited about his brother Harvey Grant for Oklahoma and seeing his success and having a chance to win that national championship.
Horace Grant is in the game, and he came from Clemson. Harvey will be going for the national championship on CBS tomorrow night as Oklahoma tangles with Kansas. Thomas makes 1 out of 2, and the lead is 6 for the Detroit Pistons. Vincent, Jordan, Corzine, and Grant. Corzine, fall away. Dave Corzine, who'll be 32 years old later this month.
He's the old man of this team. Youngest team in the league, the Chicago Bulls.
Isolate the experienced Dantley against the rookie Pippen. That's what Detroit wanted, and no one there to help his side keeps it alive. Dumars wide open. Joe Dumars with 4 points. Good balance by the Pistons. All 5 of their starters have scored, led by Dantley and Laimbeer with 6.
Chuck Daly making that lineup change and having them start again.
Jordan turning into a one-man gang now, is in double figures with 10 points. The lead is 4 for the Pistons, and it's off the hands of Mahorn. And now it's a 4-on-2 break for Chicago. Vincent, and Grant loses it. You don't want to lose many 4-on-2s, do you?
No, at the worst, Sam Vincent should have pulled up at the foul line and shot the jump shot. At least they get a good shot out of it.
Grant, Chicago much improved over a year ago. Doug Collins has done a great job. Grant is fouled going up, and he'll shoot 2. John Sally makes his first appearance into the ball game for the Detroit Pistons.
It's a little hot out here, averaging nearly 16 points a game, and that's something Detroit needs from him coming off.
Offense coming off the pond.
Not at all, and that's where they got
3:35 remaining. 4-point lead. Jordan cuts it to 2, and 12 points for Jordan. And Chuck Daly's right on the mark because Michael Jordan is off to a sizzling start.
And you see Detroit, they're a team that doesn't have any, and they live by the jump shot.
Dantley hooking over Corzine. He had to get it high, arced it perfectly, and Adrian Dantley now is right back. Pippen gets the offensive rebound, and the foul called against Chicago, a loose ball foul, and it's against Scottie Pippen.
You look at Adrian Dantley. Adrian Dantley is in 6'5". He's scored over 20,000 points now in his career, and he does it on the inside, taking the ball to the basket. You're not supposed to be able to do that in this league.
You know, the team they lost to the Utah Jazz, since the halfway mark, Utah has the best record in the Western Conference.
When you told me, I was shocked. I did not realize they were that hot. I knew they were playing excellent basketball, but to be the best right now in the West is shocking.
Off a screen, Jordan fighting through nicely is Vinnie Johnson. Jordan off balance. Doesn't matter. 14 for Michael Jordan on 7 field goals. And Granville Waiters comes into the ball game.
You won't expect him to do anything offensively, and they won't look to him much. He's a garbage player.
Paxson and Jordan at guard. And Jordan winds up on the floor, slides a few feet, and has 16 points. And the Chicago Bulls have their first lead of the ball game, 28-27, with a minute and a half to go. They were down by 7, and they have inched back with the trap defense and some good running. Vinnie Johnson hits.
Now you've got to shoot that shot.
They double team Jordan. And Scottie Pippen, wild shot, but they reverse the ball well, though. Under a minute to go, and Vinnie Johnson, Dantley fighting for the rebound, and a foul is called against the Chicago Bulls. A loose ball foul. Scottie Pippen, his second foul.
Watch this. There's no describing this move. Under, up, above.
You're right. There is no describing the move. Pippen goes out of the game with 2 fouls, and Elston Turner comes in. Now he's going to already. Doug Collins knows that Turner is.
Not only that, Doug Collins feels that he'll use him playing defensively against small forwards. So don't be surprised to see him matched up right now against Adrian Dantley. Jordan is fouled. Someone got his hand, and it's Vinnie Johnson. In Pontiac, Michigan, Dick Stockton along with Bill Cunningham. We're in the first period, and 2 really intense rivals going at it. The Detroit Pistons, who are second in the conference, and the Bulls, who are 4th. It's a 31-28 game in favor of Detroit. Jordan now with 17. And it's a good thing he's a slow starter. Can you imagine? Chuck Daly's got to be saying, well, what are we going to see in the 4th quarter?
He had 38 points against Portland in their last game, and it's a 1-point affair. 18 for Michael Jordan, so he has 18 of their 30.
And they're going back to that 1-3-1 trap again. It's rattled this Detroit team.
Thomas looking for help. Boy, the Bulls turn it over, and there's Elston Turner. And they're going to call traveling against Elston Turner. Lead the Chicago Bulls by 3.
Goes in the make a t-shirt for anything department. You recall before the All-Star break, the Bulls and the Pistons met. They had a big fight in front of the press, and Doug Collins and Rick Mahorn got into it. Now they've got t-shirts here that say the Peacemaker. Dick, I didn't see these guys for dinner last night, did you? I don't think they were together.
I'll tell you what, though, they have buried the hatchet, at least temporarily, wouldn't you think, William?
Well, hopefully, because, you know, poor Doug. I mean, he better not fool around with anything.
I mean, he's fighting in featherweight, and Mahorn is light heavy, right?
Yeah, well, Doug weighs around 174 against 240. Not a good matchup.
Start of the second period. They have not had any flare-ups. Paxson to Grant in the corner. Rebound by Vinnie Johnson.
The question for Chicago right now, can they score with Michael Jordan on the bench?
Edwards. James Edwards. And by the way, Edwards early early in his NBA career was the starting center for the Cleveland Cavaliers, and his backup was Bill Laimbeer. How ironic things go in the NBA.
And his coach was Chuck Daly in Cleveland.
5-point lead for Detroit, and a foul away from the ball. Sally might have been leaning on Grant, and it is Sally's foul, his first.
Well, those two guys are very familiar with each other, too, John Sally and Horace Grant. They played against each other in college. Sally at Georgia Tech and Grant at Clemson.
Sally keeps it alive. Here's Vinnie Johnson hitting. 5 points. Grant, move inside, stepped on the line, turns it over to Detroit. He did. Good pass from Vinnie Johnson to John Sally. Michael Jordan coming to the scorer's table. Vincent. Sally
It's been a problem for the Bulls being able to maintain any lead or get any offense with him on the bench.
Vinnie Johnson gets the roll. 41-34. Michael Jordan returns to the game. He had a sizzling 18 points in the first quarter. Thomas back. Misses the shot, and it goes in. It'll be Thomas's basket.
What we're seeing.
Larry Bird hit 7 3-point shots. So Dallas now have lost their 4th in a row. Jordan now with 20 points. Edwards over Corzine. That's what Edwards can give this team, is some offensive help. And made a good move, and now the Bulls trying to cut the lead to 3. Chicago's had the lead only once today. That was at 28-27. Jordan now with 22 points in the ball game. And it is a 3-point game. Jordan has hit 7 of his last 8 shots. Low to Mahorn. Good position for Ricky. And when you're having your best scoring year, balls like that drop.
That's right. And he has become an offensive force for this Detroit ball club.
Jordan spins and deals. 24 for Michael Jordan.
It's showtime.
This crowd is wondering in amazement. They're aghast at the show that Michael Jordan's putting on. Vinnie Johnson. Rodman, who has been a poor free throw shooter. Jordan. Now you see it, now you don't, and Oakley is short with it. Grant loses the offensive rebound to Rodman. Great pass to Isiah Thomas. And a foul.
Store for Isiah Thomas.
And if he hits the free throw, the Pistons will establish their biggest lead of this game. Thomas, who knows what it's like to win an NCAA championship with Indiana. Jordan did it with the North Carolina Tar Heels. The lead is 8 under 5 minutes to go. Laimbeer picks up his 3rd personal foul. Laimbeer has 6 points, and he'll have to come out as John Sally replaces him. So that'll hurt Detroit's offensive capabilities, losing him right now.
It does. Surprising Chuck Daly goes with John Sally instead of Edwards, probably feeling he needs a little more quickness and would like to get out and run more. And of course, with John Sally, he has someone that really can get out and fill the lanes.
And it's tough to work in a new man, as he's trying to do with Edwards. Jordan left open top of the key. You can forget that. 26 points for Michael. He has led the Bulls in scoring in every game but one against Golden State. Double team on Thomas, and he gets it anyway. So Isiah Thomas going to work now with 10 points. Dantley leads Detroit low with 13.
Now, when you play against Michael Jordan, you would like to try and force him to shoot a low percentage. Try to force him to take extra shots. You're not going to stop him from scoring.
Ralph Lewis, who's a swingman, plays primarily guard. Free agent who have been in the CBA the last 2 years out of LaSalle College in Philadelphia, replaces Joe Dumars.
And he made this ball club because of his defense, and he's got quite a challenge on his hand right now.
Doesn't waste much time in picking up a foul.
Number 35, Ralph Lewis, his first.
Lewis's first foul.
Situation at the line.
You want to compare Michael Jordan's offensive capabilities. He'll take the free throw here. And what he has meant as an offensive force in the number of games he's played in the league. Take a look at this one. Pretty good company, William.
Not bad. Wilt Chamberlain, well, leading guard. above Oscar Robinson, who also is a fairly good player.
And Jordan missed, and Oakley tips it in for the basket. 9 different Pistons have scored so far today, including Sally, who makes a great move inside on the baseline. Lead is 4 with under 3 minutes remaining. The Bulls got it down to 2. Detroit continues to keep the lead. Jordan over Lewis, and he's got another one. 29 points for Michael Jordan. Spectacular first half shooting, 12 of 15. The lead is 2. It's nip and tuck between these two guys who aren't crazy about each other. Tommy Hearn's in the audience. He attends many Piston games, and while we have a moment, we want to wish everybody a very happy Easter. You, Bill, and Pat O'Brien, and all of us here, and all of us in the audience enjoying our NBA telecast today.
Well, thank you very much, Mr. Stockton.
Game just underway. Thomas scoops it up and in. He must have learned that in the Chicago schoolyards. Huh?
You know, at first I was going to say that's a poor shot selection by Isiah Thomas, and Chuck Daly probably would have said the same thing, but when it goes in, great shot.
There are certain players in this league that just have license to do those things.
And there's one there.
Jordan gets the basket and the foul. Michael Jordan silences the crowd. He has 31 points on this Easter Sunday.
Here's Jordan isolated. Now, Lewis, that's the game plan. He is supposed to force Michael Jordan to the outside or to the baseline, but no defensive help.
Jordan now with 32 points in the ball game and a 1-point lead for Detroit. Jordan doubled with Dantley and Dumars. Good defense. Corzine for 3. Grant, the offensive rebound. And Dantley gets the rebound for the Pistons.
Because in the NBA, you're not going to win unless you do the job defensively and get out and get in the open.
No question, the Central Division has been the power division in the NBA. All 6 teams could make the playoffs. The Midwest is second. Atlantic and Pacific follow. 16 on the shot clock, so a differential of 12 seconds on the game clock and shot clock. Dumars slices in, gets the basket, and draws the foul. Oakley in the final 24 seconds, the shot clock will be off. Sellers to the bench with 4.
And that's the thing that Chuck Daly has to be most concerned with going in at halftime. What do we do about Michael Jordan?
He's at the low post right now. He checked the clock. He's got the ball with 10. Jordan has to pass it off. Paxson with 7 seconds hits the shot. And it's a 66-63 game, and pressure by the Bulls. 20-second timeout called by Chuck Daly. And a smart move because he knew the Pistons may not have gotten the shot off with the trap.
And wants to make sure they get the shot. He wants them to take. Now, a great player has the ability to make his teammates better. And that's what Michael Jordan does right here on that play, finding John Paxson open for the jump shot.
3 seconds to go in the first half. Dantley does not come back in the ball game.
What Chuck Daly would like to do is get the ball into Isiah Thomas's hands, spread the court, allow him to penetrate, either shoot it himself or find one of his teammates for the open jump shot.
But Michael Jordan has put on a Chicago show, 32 of their 63 points. So he has more than half of the Chicago total so far in this ball game.
Not bad.
No one's free. They go up to Sally. Jordan brings it down at the buzzer. Well, 3 times clubs had the end of the first half with the score. The Pistons 66 and the Bulls 63. And Pat O'Brien will be back with the Prudential at the half after this message.
And this is what the scoreboard looks like from the cheap seats as Detroit leads Chicago 66-63. And hi again, everybody. I'm Pat O'Brien.
The Detroit Pistons lead the Chicago Bulls 66-63 at the half. And it's been a half in which the Pistons have to find a way of shutting down Michael Jordan, and the Bulls, despite the fact that they've been on the road, have enough, and they have enough impetus really to know that they're in this game against Detroit on the road.
What they're going to try to do is, as soon as Michael Jordan touches the basketball, they're going to look to double him, force him to give it up, force someone else to beat the Detroit Pistons.
Up front with Adrian Dantley. who leads the Pistons with 16. Jordan to Pippen. Missed a layup. Good feed, though, from Jordan. Thomas has scored 12. He's the only other Piston in double figures. Laimbeer hits. Laimbeer had to sit on the bench a lot with 3 fouls in the first half. Now they're looking at Jordan to post up. There's the double team Bill talked situation.
And Michael Jordan's got to read the defense quickly and find the open man.
Laimbeer hits 2 in a row, and he's in double figures. And the Pistons are up by 5 again.
When you play Bill Laimbeer, you must force him to put the ball on the floor.
Vincent misses. Laimbeer the rebound. Here's Pippen. Scottie Pippen, been tentative lately. First month of the season.
Doug Collins did not start Brad Sellers to start the 3rd period.
Jordan hits the jumper, and Jordan now has 34 points, and so he has matched the season's average.
Tough to double team when he comes off his screen and shoots it that quickly.
Dumars, good defensive player on Jordan. Goes inside to Oakley, and a foul against Detroit. Tough pass, because that had to be right on the line, on the baseline. Thomas comes right back and connects.
He's getting to the offensive glass and being strong inside.
Dumars sticking with Jordan. They're not doubling him right now. They spread the court against Michael. Foul, and so Jordan will get it one way or another. He has 34 points, and he'll go to the line. He'll go over 1 million in home attendance. That's amazing. The story, Chicago shooting well thanks to Michael Jordan. 34 points in Detroit with good frontline play. They have had 9 different players scoring already in this game. And it's a typical Bulls-Pistons Donnybrook on the floor.
Haven't seen just any real hard physical play in the past. Michael Jordan. There's Oakley and Mahorn going at it, though.
You want to get in the middle of that in a hurry, and Hollins does so. So does Mahalik. The officials have done a good job. There was an early flurry that they quelled before anything other than words were exchanged, and I think the officials know coming in to be on the lookout, considering the past. The game has been very close so far. Biggest lead for either side. The Pistons had an 8-point bulge in the 2nd period. Isiah Thomas has hit 2 in a row from outside. He's in rhythm and has 16 in the game. He matches Dantley for the Pistons' scoring lead.
And they moved the ball so crisply that time when Dantley was double teamed.
Seen out there for Sam, and now seems to have found a home. Dumars, goaltending called against Pippen, and give Joe Dumars the basket. Pippen loses control of it. Oakley with 9 on the clock takes a wild shot and misses. Chicago looked way out of sync. Pippen is real tentative, and Collins has a problem. Laimbeer hits. Laimbeer, 8 points in this 3rd period. But Doug Collins has a problem because he's not happy with Sellers' play, who has 4 fouls. Pippen is tentative, and he's got to get something from that position. Timeout.
And we're seeing the Bulls get to the offensive glass. Corzine and Oakley.
Now Jordan hits, and the reason they set him up, they moved Corzine out to a high post screen. And they used the screen for Jordan to get loose. He's got 38 points now. Foul against the Bulls. Pistons with a 5-point lead. Dumars. Great move inside by Joe Dumars. He has the ability to score when the Pistons need it. He had 35 against the Celtics in Game 7 of the Eastern Finals last year. There's the double on Jordan. Pippen
Down and forces concentration to be at the defensive end of the court.
Jordan. There's Jordan. And that's the first dunk or slam that Jordan has had today. And in fact, that was unusual that he had as many as he did in the first half without a slam.
I think he was a little upset with his teammates because Isiah Thomas was playing him and he wanted the ball down in the low post and they didn't look for him.
40 points for Michael Jordan, and Rick Mahorn can't control it. It'll turn it over to Chicago.
Now, Isiah will come running at Michael Jordan because he's hit that jump shot. No one gives any defensive support, and end of case.
Michael Jordan goes over 40 points for the 14th time this year, and there is the Chicago scoring. What does he mean? When you talk about MVPs, people talk about Magic and Bird and Jordan. Good reason they talk about those three.
And also, this is the Chicago Bulls are the second leading team in attendance in the league.
Brad Sellers in the game, hits from the corner, and it's 84-81. He can do his hit from the outside. They leave Dumars free. Basket counts, and a foul against Detroit. And Mahorn has to be moved away by Laimbeer.
He and Oakley are going at it, and I wouldn't be surprised as this game goes on, if it stays as a tight ball game, that we don't see some action between those two.
Mahorn picks up his 4th personal foul and will go out, and John Sally replaces him. Style changes with Sally in and Mahorn out.
They can get up and down the court. They're a better running team, but not as physical a team inside.
5-point Detroit lead. Thomas loops it over Corzine. Nifty play by Isiah Thomas, and he takes over the Pistons scoring lead with 18. Led by 3 at the half and 3 after 1 period. And they'll call the offensive foul against Jordan.
Now defensively, that's what Detroit wants to do when Jordan gets the ball on the side. Force him to the baseline. That time, Joe Dumars beat him to the spot.
You think he's going to get mad? What do you think? You think he'll start bursting out a little bit, Michael, if he gets upset?
Oh, that's frightening for any opposing coach. Made the point at halftime they didn't want to allow Dantley to get to the foul line, and they have not allowed him in this 3rd period.
Vincent hits the open jumper. They doubled Jordan, and Vincent hit. Dantley is guarding Corzine. Most of the time is used as a perimeter shooter, sets a screen.
By joining them, hitting the jump shot, finding the open man, and we're seeing outstanding defense against Isiah.
Isiah Thomas, nothing you could do about that. He came off the screen, and Thomas has 20 to lead Detroit. Thomas has been on a scoring splurge as of late. He has averaged 27 points a game in his last 6. Dumars. Laimbeer with an up fake, loses it. Oakley, Jordan ahead of the field with Thomas. And they're going to call a deliberate foul. And that will be 2 shots and possession as Thomas fouled Michael Jordan, a breakaway foul. So Jordan will take 2 at the line, and Bulls will get the ball back when we return.
Was to double team this man right here, Michael Jordan. And we'll see when he receives that pass right here, we're going to see the double team. We're going to see Isiah Thomas, and we're going to see Joe Dumars come and double team the basketball in that position. But the next step is John Sally is going to rotate and pick up Sam Vincent, the open man. And that's the way they're going to try and take the ball away from Michael Jordan and stop his great performance so far today.
Michael Jordan will add to his point total. He has figured in 50 of the Bulls' 87 points today, with 40 points and 5 assists, and going to the line to shoot 2. He has 40 in the game. His season's high is 52 against the Portland Trail Blazers, and his regular season career high 61 right here in the Silverdome in March of '87. Everyone remembers the 63 against the Boston Celtics in the playoffs a couple of years ago. The 42 for Jordan, 90-89, and Billy, the Bulls have been in an uphill climb all day, and now in a position to take the lead with 2:14 to go.
And this is the part of the game that Detroit has been struggling over the last couple of weeks. They played a strong first 3 periods and then struggled.
Jordan puts the Bulls in front again, and it's their first lead since the first period, 91-90. Under 2 minutes to go.
I think defensively you have to go out and deny every pass to Michael Jordan. Force him to go backdoor. If he beats you with the lob, that's fine, and you have to live with it.
Dantley is fouled.
Chicago ball.
And Michael Jordan picks up his 3rd. All the fouls coming for Jordan here in this 3rd period.
Now again, Detroit is forcing to the baseline. There's Laimbeer coming over, giving to the help, but it's too late.
Dantley in against Jordan. Jordan careful not to foul. He didn't want to pick up his fourth. Dantley missed. And the Bulls with the ball and the lead with 1.5 minutes to go.
Now that's quite a challenge Doug Collins is giving Michael Jordan. Not only to score the points and lead the team offensively, now the challenge of playing a bigger, stronger Adrian Dantley.
They post up Artis Grant against Laimbeer, who has 3 fouls. And he traveled. Couldn't quite get position against Laimbeer, who's got a lot of savvy in there. Thomas tries to steal. Jordan hits the shot. Well, when I see that tongue hanging out, I know that Michael Jordan means business.
Well, you know, Michael's moving into his new home tomorrow when they get back to Chicago, so I guess he wants to have a nice opening housewarming.
He has one today. 46 points for Jordan. Fantastic show put on by Michael Jordan. 93-90 Chicago. Rodman fires up a wild shot, but gets his own rebound. Winds up on the deck. And with 33 seconds to go, Rodman, who is a 53% free throw shooter, will go to the line. And the foul is on Oakley.
You know, Dick, we talked about in the beginning the chemistry of this Detroit ball club and how delicate it is with any team. But seeing Rodman's 2 last field goal attempts, it makes you wonder what's going through his mind. Is he unhappy coming off the bench now after starting for such a long period of time? Because he's obviously not a 3-point shooter. Matter of fact, he's not a good foul shooter, except he made those 2. But that's the big problem, I think, with this Detroit ball club at this point.
Not a bad, or it is a bad time of the year to have those kind of problems.
You've got to forget every statistic if you want to be in the playoffs and challenge for a championship.
Sellers has the shot blocked by Dantley. Good play by Adrian. Here comes Detroit. They're trailing by 1, and they can play for the last shot of the period. Dantley, by the way, has not scored this period after leading the Pistons with 16 at the half. 3 seconds to go. Rodman has it knocked away, and they won't get the shot off as the period ends. And that's the end of the third period with the score. The Bulls 93, the Pistons 92. We'll return to the Pontiac Silverdome after this message and a word from your local station. To a high-scoring affair, and it's 93-92. Whoever wins today. Prolific points thanks to Michael Jordan, who has 46 points in the ball game, 18 of 22 from the field. He starts the fourth period on the bench. Paxson is in there along with Vincent in the backcourt, trapping the Pistons now. Sally, Johnson, Thomas, Laimbeer, and Rodman in there for the Pistons. Good move by Rodman. Very good baseline move.
Now that's Dennis Rodman's game. Taking the ball to the basket, getting to the offensive glass.
The Bulls do with Jordan on the bench. They've already lost their lead, but if they can hang tough with him and get him some rest, they'll benefit. Grant inside. Sally the rebound. And if I'm Detroit, I'd try to go to town as much as possible here with Michael on the bench. But Rodman couldn't control out of bounds, and it's Chicago's ball. So Michael Jordan got enough of a rest, 1.5 minutes. He's back in the ball game, 46 points in all, so it's Paxson. Rodman is guarding Jordan now. He mentioned that would be one of the defensive matchups. The bigger forward Rodman against Jordan makes no difference. 48 points for Michael Jordan. He is 4 away from a season high. Laimbeer. Sally looking. And Corzine the rebound for Chicago. Their biggest lead has been 3, and they can match it if they can get a hoop here. Jordan inside, draws the foul. He saw he didn't have one direction, and he looped it under and finally drew the foul.
The beauty was he made the pass, didn't stand. He moved to an open area, and Horace Grant found him for an opportunity to make 2 foul shots.
That's why the Boston Celtics win so much. They all move without the ball.
The Pistons would like to welcome the Friends of Kroger to
Dick Stockton and Bill Cunningham. The Chicago Bulls lead the Detroit Pistons 95-94. That man has 48 points. His season's high 52 against both Portland and Cleveland. But another story is the Chicago defense against the Piston front court, and that's what Doug Collins talked to you about.
Right. He said at halftime that the thing they had to do is stop and control the front line of the Pistons.
Mahorn comes back in the ball ball game. He has 4 personal fouls, but they need his muscle.
At the line for Chicago.
83% for Jordan. Jordan coming back from jet lag of Portland. Nothing like having a Michael Jordan around to keep you in the game.
and a couple wins on the road, the confidence that brings.
Going for his 50th point right here. His regular season career high is 61 in this building in March of '87. 50 for Michael Jordan. We're at the Pontiac Silverdome in Pontiac, Michigan, where Michael Jordan has put on a splendid show today. He has scored 50 points with that much time remaining in the 4th period. The lead is 3. John Paxson in the backcourt with Jordan, Grant, Corzine, and Sellers up front. Jordan around a screen. He's got it. 52 points, and that ties his season's high and the NBA season's high. Jordan had 52 against Cleveland and Portland, and now has it against Detroit. He has hit his last 7 shots.
Scary. His legs. Last year and the years in past, he was a little dead at this point of the year.
5-point lead. Corzine with 10 rebounds in this one. Grant fires from the corner at the 24 buzzer. Rodman to Dumars. Rodman again. Second and third effort by Dennis Rodman. He can be a spark plug for this club, make no mistake.
Now what did Detroit do?
In and out, and the foul against the Pistons. All Mahalik. Very intense inside, and John Sally has picked up his 4th personal foul. Sally then used Corzine, so he's fresh at the end of the year. The plan has worked. Vinnie Johnson, if he gets cooking, the Pistons are going to be tough. They trail by 3.
Well, I think the key to Vinnie Johnson, he needs to be double teamed. That time he had Michael Jordan running at him and Corzine and hit the jumper.
Vincent, wild shot. Jordan, and Michael Jordan now has 54 points. That's an NBA season's high. He breaks his own season mark of 52, and his 21st field goal also matches an NBA high for a single game. Vinnie Johnson misses this time. 6 minutes to go, and it's 105-100. A high-scoring affair today at the Dome. Double team on Jordan. Vincent.
And they've been hitting the jump shot, the Chicago Bulls. When Michael Jordan has found the open man, it's either Vincent or Corzine, and even Oakley has hit that open jump shot.
And the Pistons bring in Isiah Thomas and Adrian Dantley, their top 2 scorers. Dantley averaging 20 and Thomas just under. Comes in. So Chuck Daly wants his point makers in there right now. And they've changed and gave it to Chicago after a brief conference. Thomas went down, no foul. Vincent has it blocked by Rodman. And here's Isiah Thomas.
And that's the type of play that can ignite a ball club and get them really active at the defensive end of the court.
This crowd on its feet now with under 5 minutes to go. Vincent, top of the key.
You have to think after playing on the road and on the West Coast would be a little sluggish.
Pistons can come within 3. Here's Dantley, and he'll go to the line. You're going to have some tempers getting a little hot inside because the action is going to be inside the rest of the way. And Adrian Dantley, who did not score at all in the 3rd period after leading the Pistons with 16 at the half, will go to the line. 5 fouls on Brad Sellers, so Sellers and Mahorn each with 5 in the game.
At the line for Detroit, shooting 2, number 45, Adrian Dantley.
So here is Dantley. Missed 10 games with a sprained ankle. Came off the bench in the next 19, and now the Pistons just trying to get the chemistry back, and Chuck Daly had hopes it happens sooner and not later.
And if they don't, in the chemistry, boy, everybody has got to sacrifice. I can't emphasize that enough for a ball club, that if you play 2 minutes or you play 48, You have to be rooting and be ready to contribute for your ball club if you're going to have any success in about 3 weeks from now in the playoffs.
Chicago by 3. And Vincent travels. Pistons, who were down by 7 moments ago, can cut it to 1. Rodman.
Good choice by Rodman. That's not his type of shot.
Dumars inside the 3-point line. Hits. And it's a 1-point game. Pistons now trapped. And a timeout called by Chicago. And a Detroit foul there in the penalty. Bill Laimbeer, and that's 4 on Laimbeer.
At the line for Chicago, shooting 1 plus the penalty, number 23, Michael Jordan.
Here's Jordan, who has 54 points. Already has the NBA season's high, breaking his own mark. He is 13 of 14 at the line. Trying to give the Bulls a 3-point lead. And he does with 3:42 remaining. 56 points for Michael Jordan. They have designs to move up. They're in 4th in the conference now. Pistons have been pressed lately, and Thomas scores the foul and gets the basket.
Chicago foul, number 11, Sam Vincent.
What it was all about was Isiah Thomas testing the patience of Sam Vincent, pump faking 3-4 times, and able to force him to commit and draw the foul.
Missed the free throw, and we will have a foul against the Pistons right here. We'll have a Detroit foul as Thomas missed a chance for the 3-point play. He has 24, and the foul is against Rodman, his 4th. We want to remind you at the conclusion of the game, Billy and I will select the Miller Lite Player of the Game, and in conjunction with the award, Light Beer will present a check in the amount of $1,000 in the player's name to the National Multiple Sclerosis Society in that player's name. They'll bring Oakley to the line. The lead is 1. Oakley is 4 of 5 from the line. That was his first miss. And he misses both. Dantley the rebound, and Detroit looking to take the lead again.
Last 2 times down the court, Detroit looked to go to their guards for their offense, either Isiah or Dumars. Now they're looking for Dantley.
Isolated against Oakley, goes up. Laimbeer again. Detroit lead. And Chicago's Vincent comes out of the pack. Steps on the line, Detroit. You're looking at 2 of the very best in the Eastern Conference. Doug Collins, whose team won 40 games last year. They've already won 42. Dumars. Oakley, the rebound with 2:18 to go. Now the Bulls trying to regain the lead.
Oakley is just throwing Rodman around like he's a feather.
Jordan, foul, going to the hoop. And will go to the line to try to give Chicago the lead. And looking for points, 57 and 58 on the day. Dumars foul.
His 3rd penalty situation.
Michael Jordan.
You know, the thing about Jordan, Magic Johnson, and Larry Bird, every night people expect them to come and perform at another level. And that pressure that they have to come so mentally prepared to play and perform to be a star is just magnificent.
And Jordan has played on another level here. And we're tied at 110, 57 for Jordan as we wind down to 2 minutes to go. The Bulls still have one foul to give. Dantley has it knocked away. Laimbeer keeps it alive. Thomas knocked away by Jordan from behind with 24 seconds remaining and 21 on the shot clock, and the Pistons will call timeout to talk it over. Great play by Jordan from behind.
Out of the picture, Michael Jordan. Timing is perfect. Isiah had no idea he was there, knocking it out of bounds and saving a chance for the Chicago Bulls to stay in this ball game.
Jordan and Thomas, who know what it's like to win an NCAA championship. Thomas with Indiana, Jordan with North Carolina, as in Thomas for the Pistons. High score at 110.
Now the interesting thing, Michael Jordan now goes to Isiah Thomas defensively for the first time in the game. The reason, Doug Collins feels that Isiah will be the man taking the last shot.
Laimbeer setting a screen. Now they double Thomas. And the ball knocked away into the hands of Jordan. 5 seconds to go. And a foul. And Laimbeer commits the foul on Jordan with 4 seconds to go in the game. And he will shoot 2. And a chance to give the Bulls a lead. 5 fouls on Laimbeer. Chuck Daly's face tells it all.
Very frustrating. And he knows that it's going to take some time for this ball club. They have plenty of time, though, with 10, 11 games left in the regular season to be ready for the playoffs.
So Jordan is on the line. He is 15 of 17 from the free throw line today. High score. 58 points for Michael Jordan. 4 seconds remaining. And the Pistons will definitely get another opportunity. 4 seconds is a long time. Detroit has 1 full timeout and a 20. Jordan hits the free throw, and timeout called by the Pistons. With 4 seconds to go, Detroit needs a basket. Otherwise, Chicago will have won another one on the road. Thomas inside, fires away. It's over, and the Chicago Bulls won their 5th road game in their last 6. They won 2 out of 3 on the West Coast and came in to Detroit. Tired and defeated, the Detroit Pistons 112 to 110. 4th loss for the Pistons, and you're looking at the man who lit it up today in one of the fantastic efforts of the year. 59 points for Michael Jordan, who's with Pat O'Brien right now. Pat?
Thank you, Dick. And you're acting like you just won the World Championship. Big game for you.
It was. I mean, we played a very exceptional game. We came out on the road. We wanted to get at least 2 out of 4, and we ended up getting 3 out of 4, which is great.
Did you know you were going to be this hot when you came into the game? I saw you before, and you were pretty loose in the locker room.
I really felt good. I kept telling the guys I felt good about this game. We didn't have any pressure on us. All we had to do was just come out and play. For myself, I got off to a great start.
You know how many points you scored?
No, but we won.
59. Couldn't you get 60 for us today?
A win, that's all we wanted.
Okay, Michael, congratulations. Let's go back to Dick.
All right, and our Miller Lite player of the game, no question, is Michael Jordan. I'm trying to find the right card. So Michael Jordan is our Miller player of the game. I didn't need a card to find out that Michael Jordan was the winner, but he is our player of the game. Look at those numbers, 59 points, 3 rebounds, and 6 assists. Take a card, any card, Mr. Cunningham. Well, we were treated to an exciting game today. The Chicago Bulls win. They're winning on the road. They're on a terrific roll. Doug Collins has done a terrific job, and the Pistons continue to have to work out their problems.
And it's a young team, Chicago. They have to believe so confidently in themselves. Now they're going home, and now they're on a roll, and they could be a problem for some people when the playoffs arrive.
All right, so 59 points, a great treat. That's it, the story here from the Silverdome in Pontiac, Michigan, and the Chicago Bulls have won. So for Billy Cunningham and Pat O'Brien, Dick Stockton saying so long from Detroit.